Hello, welcome to this update on the Arriving and Belonging exhibition and how it was created. My name is Helen Singer and I'm on the project team. The exhibition has its roots in a project conducted in 2015-16 where we got Heritage Lottery funding at SAMS, St Albans Masorti Synagogue, which allowed us to engage in biographer Caroline Pierce to interview 12 members of our community and find out what brought them to SAMS. And this was followed by another project in 2017 called Mapping SAMS Roots, where we asked members of the community to send in just a photograph and 300 words of their family stories, and we could pin these to a digital map called History Pin. And lots of people said, I haven't got any stories, but they came up with really fantastic stories. So our mantra is everyone has a story. So we're delighted that the Hidden Treasures website, which has archives of Jewish life from around the UK, includes SAMS Roots and Mapping SAMS Roots, and we hope Arriving and Belonging will be included there in future. So back in March 2019, we went and spoke to the curator, Sarah Keeling, of the St Albans Museum and Gallery, and we applied for a space to have an exhibition. So in September we heard that we had got a space and put together the team. So Caroline, who's our biographer, Pauline, who'd worked on Mapping SAMS Roots, and I'd worked on all the other projects as well. And then because we were lucky to have some private funding, which we're very grateful for, we were able to employ heritage professionals. So we asked Devorah Moritz, who's worked on some fantastic projects, including the Crown Jewels, Bletchley Park and the Opera House, to work with us to help distill some of these stories into some key themes. So we had a workshop with Devorah, and she really encouraged us to stand back and think about our audience, some possible themes, and we also worked to look at our sort of vision and aims and the key messages, which are that Jewish people are part of the St Albans community and that Jewish people living in St Albans have roots stretching across time and place. And we had 111 stories, and we had to sort of narrow these down, and we worked out 6 themes, 3 to fit into arriving and 3 to belonging. So under arriving, we've got sanctuary, courage, compassion, and then in the belonging room, setting down roots, work and community, which roughly worked out at about 3 stories per theme. We had 18 stories, and we also had to go from 2D, from a flat digital display, to 3D. So we were looking for artifacts and objects that could be used in the display cabinets. And then, of course, we had lockdown. We did put together a design brief, and the designers we are employing are Simon Leach Designs, and we asked the contributors, who were very, very patient, to measure and remeasure their objects so that they could be fitted very precisely into the display cabinets, which are going to have these amazing archive boxes specially built so that we can place the objects and images on boxes, with the idea of people having actually found these artifacts and photographs sort of in their attics. So there were lots of different projects. We were looking at maps, the timeline, the community section, a soundscape, the photography project, the script, which is the text, and they all had their own deadlines. So for the photography project, we asked Hayley Posner, who's a member of SAMS, who's a photographer, to come out and take photographs of all the contributors outside their front doors. And that is with the idea of showing arriving. And also because of COVID, it meant that the photographer didn't need to go inside the people's houses. So as people come into the exhibition, they'll see the photography wall, the portraits of the contributors to illustrate their stories. And then the designers could commission the people who are actually producing the artwork. So we've got Stylo from Watford, who are doing the artwork, Dauphin in Tame, who are doing the acrylic mounts, and Dan Savage is doing the soundscape, which is based on the recordings from the original Roots project. So then in November, the designers sent proofs, and there were several iterations of these before they could be signed off. And then we got the artwork for the publicity, and then this was now on the museum website with some of the images from the exhibition. We've also put together a marketing plan with a draft press release ready to go, and we've got our own social media accounts. And we've also suggested books to go in the bookshop of the museum, done large print guides, transcripts, and we have a website created, which is our online exhibition.